How will your party respond to the rise in popularity of far-right politics? And do you think it requires a cross-party response? If so, what?
Oh, that's interesting. The Green Party have always called out far-right nonsense and rhetoric. Wherever it stands, we'll call it out, and we will continue to call it out. Be that in the Senedd, in councils, or on the street. We need to be united, and I think the Joe Cox Foundation is something that I do really actually hold true, is that there is more that unites us than divides us, and I stand firm by that. And I think if parties wish to have that cross consensus and put out statements, I'm all for it, because there's far much more that unites us than divides us.
Thank you. Andrew.
I agree. And the thing is, we are not going to tackle the rise of the far right by adopting their language, meeting them halfway or anything. But what we can do is also focus intensely on the issues that are underlying their rhetoric, right? Because when they talk about immigration, they try to say that immigrants are causing a strain on the health service or anything like that, right? Which we know that is not the case, and in fact, as was mentioned earlier, many people who come to our country are holding up our health service. But we need to ensure that the health service is working properly, that there is housing, that people are connected in their communities, because loneliness, isolation, people just scrolling alone, reading all this nonsense that is online is part of that driver. They get angry, they get frustrated at politics that is not changing. And I know, so I will wrap up, but we need to ensure that the next government and every future government is working to address those concerns, not give in to the far right, but undermining them.
Yeah.
And Alex.
I mean, I think, we've covered a lot of it, haven't we? It's delivery. If you can show that parties on our end of the spectrum rather than the other ones can deliver, people will believe in us, right? And there are steps, like we've had the Online Safety Act, which is targeted towards children, but what you were saying, Andy, is perfectly right. I could talk till I'm blue in the face to somebody. They could go online, read an advert on Facebook and believe that more than they believe me. And that is one of the things, it's not necessarily devolved to a certain extent, but Ofcom's got to get much better at getting and adapting themselves for the new world that we live in, a new digital world, in shutting down misinformation wherever we see it and wherever they see it. And yes, I think working cross-party is the way to go, because, we speak to other people and they just can't believe that people take in Farage and what he says and others.
Unbelievable.
And to go on to what we've just said, as I say to a lot of people, if you want to, it's not an immigration that's causing you problems in the NHS. If you go to a doctor, chances are the only non-white face you might see is the doctor. So immigration is not the problem of, a lot of our ills in society. But delivery all the way, I think, is what's going to solve it.
And that's an example of cross-party working on all right.
Well done, Bob. Yay.